So the A7C Mark II was just announced, a strange release, seemingly worse than the ZVE1 in every way imaginable. Odd. Comparing that with the competition, you got Canon R8, Fuji XS20, we're definitely not on that right now. Oh, plot twist. And then, there's others. Where does they all stand? It's English, shut up.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So after the A7C II was released, I started thinking, where does that stand? It's roughly, there's a segment of groups of cameras, I made tons of notes here, that are like roughly in the 2000 range and lightweight. It's a new breed of camera. It's not like your A7 IVs and your Panasonic S5 II, like those are hefty beasts, even though they're cheaper than some. Side rant. We are on the Fuji XS20 thanks to Aiden Camera for lending it to us. Unfortunately, I had to agree to have the logo 97% of the shot, but assuming Fuji does corner detect autofocus as good as I think it does, it shouldn't be a problem. Let's all go to Aiden Camera tonight. We're on the kit lens. 15 to 45. So this is going to be partly a Fuji XS20 review, and because it's on the list, it fits. And like, where do these cameras stand? So just taking a look at the A7C Mark II versus the ZVE1, same exact price, but the ZVE1 is actually quite lighter at 483 grams versus a 514 obesity mark. And the ZVE1 has 4K 120. Versus 4K 60 in the A7C II. And then HD 240 versus HD 120. Like, the only thing you get with the A7C Mark II is a viewfinder, and not a very good one. What are you doing? Why did you release that? I don't understand it. It's the same price. There's no advantage. It has a silver top. So does every 80-year-old man, you asshole. Calm down. How's Fuji auto detecting face technology working? How's the stabilization been? Is it dual stab? It better be. F-Log 1. How you doing? Versus Canon R8. You know what the funny thing about this is? You know how Sony's obsessed with making tiny cameras? They want to be the smallest possible. They can never beat the Canon. It's just slightly lighter. Canon R8, 461 grams. That is pathetic. Versus the ZVE1, man, and it's way cheaper, $1,500, and you're getting 4K 60 no crop. A7C Mark II likely has the aps-c crop because A7 IV did, and you also get HD 180 in the Canon versus nothing for Sony loser technology. And then you have the Fuji XS20, which we're witnessing right now, even cheaper than everything I've mentioned so far, at $13.99 with this kit lens. $100 less if you don't want it. I think you might as well do it. Why wouldn't you? I think it's the perfect vlogging lens, and you can zoom really slowly. Someone following. Oh, he's a kid. Hey, come back here, kid. I'm so glimmer glassed right now. Same filter thread size as my GoPro. You know, this Fuji XS20 is heavier than almost all the full frames that I've mentioned. The Canon's lighter, the ZVE1 is lighter, the A7C II slightly heavier. It's kind of hefty for a little aps-c, but it's packed. It's packed with specs. One of the things I respect about Fuji is usually they don't cripple their lower end. They have like almost the best specs in their top end, but some things like usually battery life or like custom buttons are missing. For the most part, you get a decent look. So Fuji's on the game. I mean, this does 6K open gate, which nothing I've mentioned so far does, and 4K 60 with a crop, like 18%, and then HD 240 has a huge crop. That's a bitch. 29%. Oh no, the lighting's terrible. I'll never be respected. Backlit technology. You could mention Panasonic S5 II in this mix, but they're kind of the old guard. They're fat. 658 grams. It's not the same thing that we're really talking about here. Even though it's cheaper than the ZVE1, it's so much heavier that this is a new category that you're not worth talking about, Panty Boy. And I did mention, I wrote down here the GH6 because it's even cheaper than everything we've mentioned, and it like beats the specs of anything, but it's fatter than anything. 823 grams is almost the weight of 2 Canon R8s. Let that sink in. Full frame sensor, 4 times the size, half the weight, almost. Wow. Okay, we're now in F-Log 2 instead of the 1. This is the superior, even more dynamic range. It's on par with full frame stuff. It would beat the Canon R8 in standard profile, obviously. C-Log 3 might stand a chance. So if we're summing up what we've mentioned so far, the Canon R8 is the lightest of all. It does 4K 60 no crop, HD 180 no crop with autofocus. It's tough to beat that. There's no stabe in the body, but most of the lenses have stabe. And Canon's digital, if you're just standing there in the middle of the street, even just digital is pretty good. It's when you start walking, Also, the files are kind of hard to edit, I do believe. So are these. The 422 in here at 360 megabytes is a bit, I can play them, but it's not fun. So now we're in 420, hoping at 200 megabits that we have something here. The ZVE1, superior to the A7C II in every way, except it has a bullshit viewfinder from 1960. What could you even spot with that thing? Could you manually focus? Could you use it at all? I think that's the only thing it has. I don't get that release at all. Same price. No reason to get it ever. Fuji, deal-breaking flaw, you want one? I have it. We can't save custom modes in video. Or can you? I just noticed, I was talking to my friend, he's like, oh yeah, you can save it, it's just not how you think you could. So look at this, when you go into the menus and save custom modes for video, it does nothing. You have to go to the next page and then make the custom modes designed for video, and then you can. So okay, we got something. I'm so sorry, I'm a moron. I should learn the camera first, but so now you can save the custom modes. I still think there should be more custom buttons. It's kind of annoying not having those. No direction wheel, the 4-way thing. It's like very minimalistic. I don't know why you did that. We're just on the kit lens indoors. At the widest it could be used. After looking over the footage, I mean, Fuji has that magic touch, I tell you. It just looks so nice. It's so pleasing and filmic. That's why you get into the system. I liked the colors. There was no weird purple skin that I noticed, at least. It looks real nice. Except, however, the stabilization wasn't the best. I've seen better. Pretty bad for dual stave, optical stave. They're obviously not working together. So that's Fuji's major flaw, but I did some slow motion street videography. I was blown away by what I got with just this $1,300 camera and a kit lens. And this is why I love 240 frames per second. Let's get to it. Am I in focus? This is how I would have framed this shot. Huh? Should I leave? Okay.
Sometimes I go sideways, or maybe in a spiral.
He's walking in a circle. Where's he going? He'll end up in a park. What a great day. He's walking somewhere. He's allergic to frogs, but that's okay.
So I close my eyes and imagine it's all okay. Can we fly higher without letting go?
Can we fly? Can we fly? Can we fly?
I stayed up all night just to hear you tell me no.
We're in Astia now, plus digital stabe. In case it wasn't smooth enough before, maybe it is now. Are there warpies up there? You'll let me know. If we're talking GH6, it's kind of the best of everything I've mentioned here. It's one of the cheapest, it's heaviest though, best specs, but the autofocus, I find it pretty good. I found there's like zero problems with it. It's just in the back of your mind, you know it's contrast detect only, so you're just like, this can't be good. Like, you don't believe it, but you see the footage, it's like, oh, I'm in focus the whole time, everything's good. It's good. It's just heavy. And the Panasonic S5 II's major flaw is that it loses autofocus in anything above 60p, even 1080p 60p. That's crazy. Even the Canon C100 Mark II does autofocus in 1080p. Loser. So it's like manual focus for some, contrast detect for others. I don't get that. So, and you're fat. Just, I was talking about a camera. I'm not an asshole. So to sum things up, in nostalgic neg, with dynamic range boost up to 400 now. Hadn't touched that yet. And digital stabe off. There's a dog and a waterfall. Wow. What's it focused on? Do you have tap to track? You do not. Oh, you do not. If it's me and I'm buying this for vlogging and studio work, I have to tell you what I wouldn't get first. The least favorite would be the A7C and the A7 IV. Just so boring. Like, what are you doing? When it comes to Canon, I have a bunch of footage of the Canon. Marcus got one in Vegas and we're using it. What I noticed is the autofocus kind of lost me sometimes. It wasn't like Sony level. The stabe was okay for digital. It's just the 50mm 1.8 cheap lens. I did not like the look of it. It wasn't 3D popish. It was okay. I don't know. You could get by. I never tried it in like C-Log 3 with like the 85mm 1.2 adapted and then full frame outside. Wow. I have a feeling it has some potential, and it's so light and cute and cheap. It's on the radar of cameras you could not die with. When it comes to the Fuji, it just works. I don't know how the stabe has been. I will see it when I get the footage back. I kind of like Fuji. They have a special place in my heart. It's an interesting look, and everything is just like uncrippled. I think you have to lean the ZVE1. Why wouldn't you? It's almost an A7S III. You don't get your viewfinder, but you probably don't need it. unless you're bringing wildlife into the mix, that's a whole other thing. It's like, that's a lot to think about. It's like, oh, I want my camera also to be able to shoot 50 yards away, super sharp, perfect autofocus with cat detect. That's a different story for another day. But if your dream is to vlog and do wildlife when you travel to another city, I think I might even recommend this. You have the nicest 70-300. It's lightweight. It would be a really lightweight, fun little kit. So in my opinion, Sony A7C and 4 have no place in our world. Canon R8 and ZVE1 are very similar. ZVE1 way better specs, almost as light, way more money, but like somewhat ballparkish. You find one used one day. I've seen them on Amazon. And then Fuji, a strange cousin that belongs nowhere but is loved. I'm in classic neg. I would just like my Fuji X-T3 users to go into your menu and change into this one. Oh, you don't have it. Oh, that's... Fuji never gave you the firmware for that one, huh? Look at it and weep. I'm gonna leave. Which camera would you pick? It's ZV1 E1 all the way, or Canon R8 if you're a Canon fan freak. Have fun with that. I'll leave. Do better next time, Fuji. Let's all go to Aiden Camera tonight. Subscribe for more videos. See you next.